Hi, I'm Raul. In this episode, I'll be determining the appropriate seed planting date for my transplants. I don't want to plant tomato and pepper transplants in the garden too early or too late. Although the outdoor planting window is very wide, transplanting too early can result in damaged or dead plants. And transplanting too late can impact fruit set during the hot nights of summer. I focus on getting transplants in the garden as early as safely possible. This can maximize fruit production through the season. Tomato and pepper plants can be killed or damaged by frost. I have found that pepper plants can be stunted permanently with temperatures of the high 30s or even low 40s. Therefore, it's very important to consider outdoor temperature when planting the transplants in the garden. I begin by determining how long it takes to produce a transplant that's ready for the garden. This is a planting card I received a number of years ago from a seed supplier. According to the card, tomatoes should be started 6 to 8 weeks before it's time to plant in the garden. Peppers and eggplants require 8 to 10 weeks. This card was provided by Tomato Growers Supply Company, another very good supplier of seeds. I'll post a link to their website in the description. Peppers require a little longer time to germinate than tomatoes do, and are planted in the garden a little later than tomatoes as well. So I plant them all at the same time, and everything usually works out fine. I will use 7 weeks for my calculations. The next step is determining what date to plant the seeds. Since I want to transplant to the garden after all danger of frost has passed, I must determine that date and work backwards. I'll take you step by step through the process of determining that date for my location. I use a National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration NOAA webpage for this. Specifically, the NOAA National Centers for Environmental Information webpage. I'll post a link to this website in the description. We'll be examining freeze-frost occurrence data. The URL is highlighted at the top left of the page. First, we select Data Access. Land-based station. Data sets. Climate normals. 1971 to 2000 U.S. climate normals data and information. Frost freeze data 1971 to 2000. We select our state. Here's our freeze-frost occurrence data. Freeze-frost probability dates represent the likelihood that a location will experience a given minimum temperature before or after a given date. NOAA scientists publish probabilities at the 10, 50, and 90% levels. The threshold column has 3 different temperatures: 36, 32, and 28 degrees Fahrenheit. The spring probability level section represents the latest date at which the temperature threshold will be reached for the 3 different probabilities. Then we select the station name that is closest to our location. Covington is the closest station to my location. I will focus on the 32-degree Fahrenheit threshold dates. There is a 10% probability that 32 degrees will be reached on April 5th. I used the 10% probability of 32 degrees occurrence date for my planting calculations. This leaves a very low probability that I'll be faced with a freeze after planting. April the 5th represents a 10% probability of 32 degree temperatures. I then count backwards 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks. This results in an approximate seed planting date for my transplants of February 15th. I will try to plant the weekend of February 15th, 16th, and 17th. Please subscribe to my channel and continue following this year's journey. The subject of my next segment will be planting the seeds for the transplants.